Jake Morrison stared at his monitor. 11:47 p.m. Friday night, alone in the office. Something flickered on his screen. Unusual traffic in the log file. Port 443, encrypted connection, but the source IP address was strange. Most IT technicians would have ignored it. But Jake was different. He dug deeper. And when he understood what he was seeing, his heart stopped. Someone had broken into their systems. Right now, real time. And they were stealing banking information from 2 million customers. Jake called his boss. "Mike, we have an emergency." "Jake, it's Friday night." "False alarm. We'll talk Monday." The line went dead. Jake was alone. And he had 3 hours to prove the company was under cyber attack. Welcome to Echo Tales, where ordinary people show extraordinary courage. Before we dive into today's story, if you enjoy tales of technology, high-stakes decisions, and overlooked heroes, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We share real-life inspired stories every single day. And here's a question for you. Have you ever noticed something but nobody believed you? You knew you were right but everyone dismissed you? Drop a comment below and let us know where you're watching from today. We love hearing from viewers around the world. Whether you're watching from San Francisco, New York, or anywhere in the world, you probably know someone like, just the IT guy. Someone who works in the background, whose name nobody knows. Today's story is about Jake Morrison, a 28-year-old junior IT technician. Everyone thought he was invisible. Until one Friday night when he discovered the company was under a $1 billion cyber attack. And when nobody believed him, he decided to fight alone. The choice he made would make him both a hero and a suspect. While other children played soccer, Jake learned Python. In high school, while friends went to parties, Jake competed in CTF competitions, capture the flag, cybersecurity contests. He'd studied computer science in college, graduated with honors from UC Berkeley. But social skills, those were a problem. Eye contact was difficult. Small talk was hard. Jake Morrison was 28 years old and had spent most of his life behind computer screens. As a air complicated, unpredictable, illogical. Code was simple. Code didn't lie. Code was clear. It had if/then logic. Jake understood code. He didn't understand people. 2 years ago he'd joined TechFlow Industries. Fintech company, financial technology. They ran a mobile banking app, 2 million active users, $500 million in transactions daily. Jake started as a junior IT technician. Tier 1 support, basic problems, password resets, printer issues. Below his degree, but it paid well, and Jake just wanted to work quietly. The office was in San Francisco's Soma district. Modern, open floor plan, glass meeting rooms, free food, ping pong table. Typical tech startup look, but TechFlow wasn't a startup anymore. 500 employees, $2 billion valuation, preparing for IPO. Jake had a small cubicle in the IT department, at the back of the building. They called it Nerd Corner, jokingly. Jake and 3 other technicians, Mike, his boss, Lisa, and Dev. Mike was 45, old school IT guy. "Don't get so technical, Jake," he'd say. "Keep it simple." Lisa was 32, social, popular. She'd flirt with programmers. Never noticed Jake. Dev was 26, aggressive, ambitious. He saw Jake as competition, constantly trying to one-up him. Jake didn't care about any of them. Every day he'd arrive at 8:30, put on his headphones, work with code and logs. He'd eat lunch at his desk, usually a sandwich, browse Reddit. Leave at 6, go to his small studio apartment in Mission District. Evenings he'd write code, play games, sleep. No social life. No friends. Never had a relationship. But he didn't feel lonely. Loneliness was Jake's normal state. Comfortable. Until that Friday night. Friday, 6 p.m. The office was emptying. Friday evening, everyone heading to bars, restaurants, homes. Mike stopped by Jake's cubicle. "Jake, go home. It's the weekend." "I'm just going to finish the final log scan," Jake said without looking up from his screen. Mike shrugged. "Your call. Lock the door when you leave." Lisa and Dev had already left. Jake was alone in the 500-person office, with just a few programmers staying late on the 3rd floor. Jake loved this. The silence. No distractions. Just him and code. He had a routine. Friday evenings he'd manually review system logs. They had automation tools, CM, IDS, firewall logs, but Jake trusted the human eye. He could see patterns, anomalies, small oddities machines might miss. At 7:30 he ordered pizza. At 9 o'clock he opened terminal, began diving into log files. At 11:47 he saw something. At first it was a small thing. A single log entry among thousands. 23 hours 47 minutes and 23 seconds, SSL connection established from 185.220.101.47:443. 23 hours 47 minutes and 24 seconds, authentication successful, service_account_backup. 23 hours 47 minutes and 25 seconds, database query, select asterisk from customer_accounts where status equals active. Jake paused. 185.220.101.47, the IP address seemed familiar but he couldn't quite place where from. He ran a Hoy's lookup. Country, Russia. Organization, unknown. ASN, Tor exit node. Jake's stomach turned. Tor. Anonymous browsing network. It had legitimate uses but, why would a service account connect through Tor? And service_account_backup, the backup account, only used for automated backups. Not at midnight. At 3 a.m., Jake dug deeper. Connection history. 23 hours 40 minutes and 15 seconds, first connection attempt. 23 hours 42 minutes and 33 seconds, authentication failed, 3x. 23 hours 47 minutes and 23 seconds, authentication successful. 3 failed logins. Then success. Someone was guessing. Jake's heart raced. His fingers flew across the keyboard. Netstat and grep established. Tcpdump IF0 port 443. Results began streaming. And Jake's blood ran cold. 47 active connections. All from Tor exit nodes. All to the database server. All downloading data. Oh my God, Jake whispered. The attack was ongoing. Right now. Real time. Hashtag first reaction. Jake's first instinct was to shut down the servers. Pull the network cable. Stop everything. But he stopped. Thought. If he shut them down, evidence would be lost. The attacker would escape. And nobody would believe. Jake was paranoid. False alarm. Plus shutting down servers would crash systems. The app wouldn't work. Customers couldn't transfer money. The company would lose millions. And Jake didn't have authority. Junior technician. No access to shut down servers. He needed to call Mike, his boss. IT chief. Jake pulled out his phone, hands shaking. Dialed Mike's number. 3 rings. 4. 5. Hello? Mike's voice was noisy, music in background. He was at a bar. Mike, it's Jake. We have an emergency. Jake? Dude, it's midnight. What do you want? Our system is under attack. Right now. Someone's accessing the database, stealing customer data. Whoa, slow down. Attack? Jake, the alarm system didn't go off. No CM alerts. It's probably a false alarm. No, I'm seeing the logs. Logs? Mike laughed. Jake, it's Friday night. I've been drinking. We'll look at details Monday, okay? But Mike, this is serious. Jake, listen. You're a good kid but you're too paranoid. Stop going DEFCON 1 on every little anomaly. Isolate the servers, save the logs, we'll talk Monday. Okay? Mike. Okay? Good. Good night, Jake. The line went dead. Jake stared at the phone, shocked. Mike hadn't believed him. Hadn't even listened. Jake was alone. Hashtag the decision moment. Jake turned back to the monitor. The attack was continuing. 48 connections now. 49, 50. Database queries kept flowing. Select account_number, routing_number, balance from accounts. Select SSN, DOB, address from users. Select card_number, CVV, expiration from payment_methods. Everything. Bank accounts. Social security numbers. Credit cards. 2 million customers. Jake thought. Options. 1. Do nothing. Wait until Monday. Like Mike said. Safe option. But by then data would be stolen. 2. Shut down servers. Stop attack. But crash the system, maybe lose his job. And no proof. 3. Fight. Track the attacker. Gather evidence. Protect the system. But how? Jake's brain raced. He had social anxiety, feared talking to people. But code? Code was his language. And right now, code was speaking. He made his decision. Option 3. Fight. Hashtag the battle begins. Jake took a deep breath. His fingers went to the keyboard. First task, slow the attacker without alerting them. Rate limiting. Reduce connection speed. Slow enough the attacker won't notice but enough to reduce data flow. Python. Hashtag firewall rule, rate limit Tor connections. Iptables, A input, S185.220.101.0/24, M limit 10 per minute, J accept. Iptables, A input, S185.220.101.0/24, J drop. Enter. He watched the logs. Connections slowed. From 50 to 30. To 20. Good. Bought time. Second task, track the attacker. Started network sniffer. Bash. Tcpdump, ith0, w attack _capture.pcap, host 185.220.101.47. Recording all packets. Evidence. Third task, who is this? Ran IP reverse trace. Because it was Tor, couldn't find real source. But he noticed something. The attacker used a specific pattern in SQL queries. Pulling table names in alphabetical order. Small detail but characteristic. Jake's brain worked. He'd seen this pattern before. Where? Old security reports. 6 months ago. Another attack attempt. It had been blocked but... Jake opened old logs. Yes. Same pattern. Same SQL structure. And in that attack they'd left a trace. Email address, in a phishing attempt. Jake's hand trembled. Found the email. Dmitry.volkov@protonmail.com. Google search. Dmitry Volkov. Hacker alias, Ghost Bear. Russian hacker group. Known in cybercrime community. And now attacking TechFlow. Escalation. 12:30 a.m. Jake had been fighting for 90 minutes. Rate limiting was working but the attacker was adapting. Adding new Tor nodes, changing IP addresses. Jake tried blocking each one but the attacker was fast. And then something happened. The attacker changed strategy. Instead of pulling from the database, now, writing. Insert into admin_users, username, password, role, values, ghost_admin, hashed_password, superuser. Backdoor. The attacker was creating persistent access in the system. No. Jake shouted. He didn't have database write access. But. Jake remembered something. Development environment. Test database. Synced with production. He had access. Ethical? No. Using dev system for production was forbidden. But did he have a choice? Jake logged into dev environment. Opened SQL console. SQL. Delete from admin_users where username equals ghost_admin. Revoke all privileges from service_account_backup. Enter. Attacker access cut off. He watched logs. Connections dropped. From 20 to 10. To 5. To 2. To 0. Silence. Jake leaned back, breathing hard. Sweat dripping. Did he do it? Did he stop it? Waited 5 minutes. Nothing. System clean. 10 minutes. Still nothing. 15 minutes. Bing. New alert. New IP. New connection. Ghost Bear was back. Hashtag second wave. This time the attacker was more aggressive. Not one IP, 200 IPs. Botnet. Distributed attack. Jake's firewall rules were insufficient. Too many sources. Servers were slowing. CPU 90%. Memory filling. Jake watched monitors in panic. System would crash. Needed new strategy. Cloud firewall. AWS Shield. But activating it required CEO approval. Finance department approval. There was procedure. Jake didn't have authority. But he didn't need authority. Just access. Jake accessed the CEO's assistant's email account. IT could reset all accounts. He knew the password. Ethical? Absolutely not. Legal? Debatable. But necessary? Yes. Jake sent email in CEO Sarah Chen's name. AWS Shield Activate, Authorization Code, CEO, Emergency, 001. Send. 30 seconds later AWS auto-responded, Shield activated. DDoS protection enabled. Botnet traffic filtered. Real attack separated. Servers stabilized. Jake breathed. But there was a problem. That email was logged. Left a trace. 2:15 a.m. Jake had been fighting for 4 hours. Ghost Bear made his final move. Ransomware. A file appeared in the system. readme_ransom.txt. Your database has been encrypted. Pay 100 Bitcoin, $5 million, to decrypt. You have 48 hours. Ghost Bear. Jake's heart stopped. Ransomware? When? Check the database. Files were encrypted. No. Checked backups. Last backup. 6 hours ago. Data could be lost. But wait. When did encryption start? Looked at logs. 5 minutes ago. So it wasn't finished yet. Encryption was ongoing. Process halfway. Jake had an idea. Crazy. But might work. Stop the ransomware process. Bash. Kill all -9 encrypt _process. Then restored partially encrypted files from backup. Did it work? Half and half. 60% data recovered. 40% lost. But at least not total disaster. And then. Silence. Attack stopped. Ghost Bear went offline. Jake watched monitors. 5 minutes. 10, 15. Nothing. It was over. 2:47 a.m. Jake had fought for 5 hours. And he'd won. Hashtag morning. Jake fell asleep at the office, at his desk. When Mike arrived at 8:30 he found him. Jake? What are you doing here? Jake woke up, head confused. Mike, attack. I stopped it. Mike frowned. What attack? Jake explained. Everything. Ghost Bear. 200 botnet IPs. Ransomware. AWS Shield. Mike's face got serious. How are servers right now? Stable. 60% data protected. 40% needs restore from backup. Mike went to terminal, checked logs. His face went pale. Oh my God. Jake, this is real. I told you last night. I know. Mike slapped his forehead. I need to call the CEO. Now. At 10 a.m. Jake was in the conference room. CEO Sarah Chen, CTO David, CFO Mark, and Security Chief Linda. Sarah was serious. Jake, tell us what happened. Jake explained. With technical details. Everyone listened. David interrupted. Jake, how did you activate AWS Shield? There's an approval procedure. Jake hesitated. I used the CEO's email. Silence. Unauthorized access. Linda raised an eyebrow. There was an emergency. Jake, Sarah leaned forward. You broke rules. Protocols. Maybe laws. Jake looked down. I know. But I saved the company. Sarah took a deep breath. Yes. You did. Then smiled. And we thank you. #Aftermath. 1 month later. Jake's life changed. He was no longer a junior technician. Became director of cybersecurity. His own team, his own budget. But something else changed too. FBI got interested. Agent Rodriguez questioned Jake. Mr. Morrison, how did you have knowledge about this attack? I was monitoring logs. You detected an 18-month planned attack on day 1. Suspicious. Jake explained. Attention to detail. Pattern recognition. Curiosity. FBI investigated. 3 weeks. Finally cleared him. But the stigma remained. Was he an insider? People whispered in the office. Jake didn't care. Not anymore. Because he'd learned something. Sometimes doing the right thing makes you both hero and suspect. But it's still worth doing. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe and become part of the Echo Tales community where we share powerful stories every day. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment below. We love hearing from our amazing viewers around the world. ***.